tedesco, spiega tutte le regole del campo. Che sei al tedesco?
No.
Alles hören, ich sage das nur einmal.
Comincia il gioco. Chi c'è, chi non c'è, non c'è.
Ihr seid nur aus einem einzigen Grund in dieses Lager transportiert worden?
Si vince a 1000 punti. Il primo classificato vince un carro armato, vero?
Um zu arbeiten.
Beato lui.
Jeder Versuch der Sabotage wird mit dem sofortigen Tode bestraft. Die Hinrichtungen finden auf dem Hof durch Schüsse in den Rücken statt.
Ogni giorno vi daremo la classifica generale da quell'altoparlante là. All'ultimo classificato verrà attaccato un cartello con su scritto Asino, qui, sulla schiena.
Ihr habt die Ehre, für unser großes deutsches Vaterland arbeiten zu dürfen und am Bau des Großdeutschen Reiches teilzunehmen.
Noi facciamo la parte di quelli cattivi che urlano. Chi ha paura perde punti.
3 Grundregeln solltet ihr nie vergessen. Erstens, versuche nicht zu fliehen. Zweitens, folge jedem Befehl ohne Fragen. Drittens, jeder Versuch eines Aufstandes wird mit dem Tod durch Erhängen bestraft. Ist das klar?
In 3 casi si perdono tutti i punti. Li perdono 1, quelli che si mettono a piangere. 2, quelli che vogliono vedere la mamma. 3, quelli che hanno fame e vogliono la merendina. Scordatevela!
Ihr solltet glücklich sein, hier arbeiten zu dürfen. Es wird niemandem etwas geschehen, der die Vorschriften befolgt.
È molto facile perdere punti per la fame. Io stesso ieri ho perso 40 punti perché volevo a tutti i costi un panino con la marmellata.
Gehorsamkeit ist alles.
Dal Bigocche.
Und noch etwas.
Lui di Fragole.
Bei diesem Pfiff, alles raus auf den Hof, aber schnell.
Ah, non chiedete i lecca-lecca perché non ve li danno. Ce li mangiamo tutti noi.
Antreten in Zweierreihe.
Io ieri ne ho mangiati 20.
Schweigend.
Un mal di pancia.
Jeden Morgen
Però erano buoni.
ist Appell.
Lascia fare.
So, das wollte ich euch noch sagen. Dort hinten werdet ihr arbeiten. Ihr werdet die Dimensionen des Lagers leicht begreifen.
Scusate se vado di fretta, ma oggi sto giocando a nascondino. Ora vado, se no mi fanno tana.
The Global Competitive Index mentioned that Greece's scores was 62.58 points in the Competitiveness Index, published by the World Economic Forum, which measures how well a country uses its resources and capacity to provide its people with a high level of prosperity. It has improved its score from last year's report, where its score was 62.11 points. About institutions, there are several problems in the institutions that Greece have implemented. One major problem have been in the last century, the low levels of research and development, the limited production, innovations related to local research results, and the lack of extensive cooperation between universities and enterprises. Nevertheless, instead of the problem have diminished, we can find following the root cause of the great crisis has been in the institutional deficit, the lack of an efficient institutional framework that is necessary for economic growth. For this reason, the most important deficit in Greece is the institutional, in where there are various aspects that involve this issue, like the overregulation, low-quality regulation, selective enforcement, high transactions at administrative cost, and delays and inefficient in processing judicial cases. And about infrastructure, the Greece government has tried to attract different programs to implement a good field of infrastructure in the country. Public-private partnerships, that are PPPs, are key to attracting funding from those global players possessing the capital and technical know-how required for complex projects, and a variety are said to be tendered.
The prevalence of clinical depression and suicide has increased in the past 3 years. In addition, the rate of HIV infection is increasing. Perhaps because injection drug use has increased and because support programs for people dependent on injection drugs have been cut. Access to health services has been reduced, and the pressure on public services is greater. People can no longer afford private healthcare and are going to public hospitals. Hospital admissions have increased from 1.6 million in 2009 to 2.2 million in 2013. That is 28%. Many people with health problems and lack of resources do not request any health care. In addition to limited access, increased drug co-payments and the imposition of other user fees have exacerbated these problems. Hospital budgets are undergoing constant cuts, causing a shortage of medical supplies, especially laboratory supplies, and detracts from quality of care. Both people's health and the health system have been negatively affected. Education in Greece is compulsory from preschool, from 4 years old, until lower secondary, which reaches until 15. From that moment, students can continue with their studies or, on the contrary, lose when they see it convenient or necessary. Education in Greece is divided into 5 possible stages. The first is the pre-primary, which includes the children's centers for boys and girls under 4 years old and the kindergartens where students between 4 and 6 years old attend. From that moment and until the age of 12, boys and girls pursue their primary studies, obtaining a certificate upon completion that guarantees access to the next level, that of secondary, which is given in the so-called gyms. This in turn is divided into 2 sub-levels, the lower one, for students between 12 and 15 years old, and the upper one, which reaches up to 18. From then on, students who wish to do so can choose between continuing their studies in vocational training or higher education. Distributing this last between the university sector and the technology sector. To access them, students must obtain an upper secondary aptitude certificate and pass a national exam. Greece allocates 4% of its GDP to the education sector, a much lower figure than the start date of the economic crisis. Between 2009 and 2013, state investment in education decreased by 33%, and by 14% during the following 2 years.
The crisis in Greece has had major consequences, including the weakening of the market, which forced the country to implement certain reforms in order to restart its economy. However, most of these were detrimental to the product market, as this regulation tends to be excessive and of low quality in the markets, hindering the growth of entrepreneurships and innovation, and with it the product markets must face unjustified protection from internal or external competition, lowering the country's competitiveness, as shown in the following graph. In the case of the labor market, reforms have borne fruit, and over the years, the level of unemployment rates has fallen and is helping to create jobs. Although Greece scores poorly on all the 3 indicators of labor market inclusion, as well as having a gender gap in labor income, the 4th highest after Japan, Korea, and Mexico. Greece's financial system was also greatly affected by the crisis and its aftermath, as it left the banking system in a very bad way, as bank balance sheets were affected by the impact of the decline in the market value of Greek government bonds. The financial crisis resulted in a very limited bank financing capacity, so a deep restructuring of the domestic banking system was carried out and is still recovering today. To finish, the market and the financial system of the country has been maintained thanks to the agricultural sectors that contribute 4.1% to the GDP. Among its products are wheat, corn, barley, olives, tomato, wine, tobacco, beef, and dairy products. On the other hand, the industry contributes with 16.9% of the GDP. Among its services are tourism, food and tobacco processing, textile, chemical products, and metal products.